mountains turned into hills.
What?
The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed...
But them. I can go in them house.
That's a bridge over water.
I can go in them though.
Boats can go through there.
Boats can go from there.
And so boats can get under the bridge. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There, said the conductor, is the North Pole. I bet you that's where Santa works.
What?
Will you push the kitty cat off?
The North Pole. It was a huge city standing alone on top of the world, filled with factories. Look at that. Who's that?
Santa.
Uh-huh. It was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first we saw no elves. They are gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us. That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Who receives the first gift? We all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Wow, how exciting to get the first gift of the season. Look at all those people down there. Look, shouted one of the children, the elves. Outside we saw hundreds of elves. Those are little elves. As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no further, we stopped and the conductor led us outside. Oh, wow, exciting. What are these?
Elf.
Who's that?
Santa.
We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound, like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart, and Santa Claus appeared. The elves cheered wildly.
What?
The elves cheered when they saw Santa Claus. They loved him. He marched over to us and pointed to me, said, "Let's have this fellow here." He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked, "Now what would you like for Christmas?" Look at him, he got our boy. I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. Well, what I wanted more than anything else was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from a reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood holding the silver bell high above him and called out, "The first gift of Christmas." Thank you, Santa Claus.
What?
He gave the boy one of his bells. A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. You know what the reindeers' names are? Dasher and Dancer. Can you say them?
Dasher.
And Dancer.
And Dancer.
And Donner.
And Donner.
And Blitzen.
Blitz.
Does Daddy know?
And Comet.
Comet.
And Cupid.
And Cupid.
And who else? And Donner.
Prancer and Vixen.
Prancer. And Prancer. And Prancer. Can you say Prancer?
Prancer.
And Vixen.
Vixen.
But do you recall
The most famous.
reindeer of all? Do you know the most famous reindeer of all?
Who? He's pointing to one.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Since it's big.
Is that Santa's bag?
Mhm. Look how big the reindeer are. They're very big. Look how big they are. They're bigger than Santa Claus.
That's big.
His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled above us, then disappeared in the cold, dark polar sky.
Monkeys to me.
Read monkeys.
Just dropped it.
You just dropped it.